If we're not at a Disney park, we're dreaming about being there, and a cup of Joffrey's Coffee Disney Blend helps. But what about when you're at a Disney park? The Joffrey's Disney Kiosk and Restaurant Locator will make sure you never miss out. Whether it's a cool drink on a hot summer vacation or a great cup of coffee at a Disney signature restaurant, Joffrey's has you covered. Check it out at joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call, and the doors will be closing soon.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
This is ResortLoop.com. Bob.
Tim.
I'm very excited for today's show.
Me too. This is a lot of fun. We got a Super Looper with us today.
We do.
Go ahead and introduce.
Everybody, we're thrilled to be joined by Super Looter. What did you do?
Wait a minute.
A Super Looper, Deedee Herring. Deedee, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Great.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Now, of course, Deedee's been at every one of our Looper meets that we've had, except the Northeast Ohio one. Hey, you know.
You can't make them all.
You don't want to come to Cleveland. We understand. We understand.
Yes. Well, I've proven that I'm not stalking you guys. That's what
Very good. Very good. So, Deedee, of course, Deedee's from down in Florida, the Florida area. So her home park is of course Walt Disney World. But Deedee did something a little bit special, Tim. Something you, sir, refused to do.
First of all, the incorrect word. Very excited to do, anticipating some time to do. But I want Deedee to tell us. Deedee, tell us about your trip to Disneyland.
Yeah. So it was super fun, actually. I was born and raised in Anaheim, actually. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was my home park until I was 18. And then I moved away and went to Ohio and decided it was too cold to live there.
That's true.
Here. Yes.
Yeah. So then I moved to Florida because actually I did try to live back in California for about a year in 2000 to 2001, and it didn't work out. So Florida is where I chose to go. So, but yeah, I hadn't been back to the Disneyland Resort in 16 years.
Oh,
so,
Wow.
Yeah, had not seen any of the new stuff. I was there when DCA first opened, and it was a mess. So.
Oh, wow. Wow. So
yeah, sorry, I'm still
it?
coming down with a little bit of a cold here. So.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Tim, disinfect the microphone, please. I don't want to get sick. I gotta ask, okay, so you hadn't been there in 16 years. What, so give me a little compare and contrast on what it was back 16 years ago compared to like what it is today for you.
So Disneyland, it was pretty much the same. I think more than anything, the biggest differences between when I was there the last time and now was the overlays of the holiday stuff. That's the only thing I can really think of that was new there. Some new restaurants and things like that, or redone restaurants. But DCA was the big one. I was there when it first opened, when it had like Superstar Limo, and it was the Beach Boys California super cheesy theme.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, there was no Cars Land, no Bugs Land. There wasn't even a Tower of Terror at the time I was there, but we got Guardians Tower when we came out this time. So that was the biggest differences. I think Downtown Disney was there too, but I don't think it was quite as big as it is now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So so tell us, you said there's a holiday what holiday overlay did they have?
So they had the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay on the Haunted Mansion. Which,
okay.
I literally have been waiting. I don't even know how long it's been going now, 10, 15-ish years or something like that. I've been waiting forever to see that because I love Nightmare Before Christmas. And it was, At first, I was kind of like, this is okay. But you get to the graveyard scene and it just takes over. Like, and if you're a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, it gets super emotional real quickly for that scene. So
really,
it's really good. And we had an interesting experience because I was in a ECV because of my sprained ankle. And when you go in an ECV or a wheelchair, you get to ride back up the elevator to exit out. So we got to do everything in reverse, which was fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty unique watching all the pictures close back up, basically.
Okay.
So.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because
it was a contracting room.
Exactly, yeah, because that room actually does go. It's an actual elevator, unlike Walt Disney World's, where you actually, it's not really an elevator. It's just kind of stretching upward.
Whoa,
one in Disneyland.
Whoa! What?
What?
What? No. No.
Yeah. Sorry to
Alright.
spoil the magic there.
Oh. Now I got
But
it.
yeah, so you have to ride it back up.
Neat.
That's very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
So let's start at the beginning then. Where did you stay? Where did you stay when you went out there?
Well, we stayed at the Candy Cane Inn, which is on the harbor side, on the harbor side, on the Disney Resort side. So we were backed up to the I guess they call it the Cadillac Ranch, the Cars Land section. Behind our hotel, we could actually see the cardboard kind of cutouts of the backside of the Cadillac Ranch. So we were right there. And it was a very easy walk, like 5-10 minutes for me because of my foot. But it was super close, and I can't even recommend that place enough. It was not that expensive. They say it's closer to Disneyland and California Adventure than even some of the Disney resorts are, like Paradise Pier.
Really?
I didn't compare that, so I don't know for sure, but that's what they say. So, but yeah, it's not that expensive. They have a shuttle if you don't want to walk, and they have a free continental breakfast that is amazing. I mean, it is carb central, but it's amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah, very easy.
I've heard great things about the Candy Cane Inn before. Are the beds comfortable too?
Yes, they were really comfortable. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was really surprised, especially when we first saw it. I mean, it was nice on the outside. It kind of had a New Orleans garden theme, I guess is the best way to say it, with the wrought iron fences and everything. The rooms were just general rooms, but the beds were very comfortable. We were very pleased with it. We'd definitely go back again.
And you say it's walking distance into into the main entrance, or?
Yeah, it's the harbor side entrance.
Okay.
So there's two ways in. There's security on the harbor side, and then there's security on the downtown Disney side, which is the Disneyland Drive side.
Oh,
Hopefully
okay.
I'm getting these street names right. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So you basically just walk straight down harbor. It's like 0.4 miles on the map. It takes like a normal walker like 5 minutes, but it took me about 10-15 because of my foot. So
Okay. And that you're talking South Harbor Boulevard there. So I was looking real quick at TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor gives Candy Cane Inn 4.5 stars, I guess is what they're out of 5. And number 6 hotel out of 119 hotels in Anaheim. Number 6.
wow.
So what was the rates like?
I want to say it was around 100 to, I can't exactly remember because I booked it as a package. So it was between 100 and 150 a night. I think it varied because of the weekend versus the weekday. But this was Veterans Day weekend as well. So I have a feeling it would be cheaper even if you went on an off time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's not bad compared to what Disney's charging at Disneyland for some.
No,
of
and you get that breakfast, which I can't even tell you. It was a money saver, and it was quality. Like, it was really, really good stuff. So
Now Tim and I'm going to bring this up, Tim. I know we swore what happens
Oh,
at the Southern Lodge, stays at the Southern Lodge.
Yeah.
But we were treated to an incredible
Wow.
individually
Yes.
wrapped bacon at the Southern
Yeah.
Lodge, and it was something.
it was.
We'll leave it at something.
It may have been pork. Not sure.
It's a continental breakfast, so no bacon, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But lots of different kinds of bagels, croissants, donuts, cereals, and they did have hard-boiled eggs and cheese. Like they had blocks
Oh,
of
wow.
cheese. So
Well, sign me up.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
How about, do they have a pool there? Nice pool.
They did. It was pretty small. The hotel is actually very small.
Okay.
I would say maybe, I'm not even sure, maybe 100 rooms, if that.
Okay.
It's a very quaint, small hotel. So,
Very nice. Very
yeah.
nice. All right. So the Candy Cane Inn,
Yes,
highly recommended by Deedee. Excellent.
definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely.
All right. So what? There's a lot going on at Disneyland, like it is at Walt Disney World. How noticeable was the construction? Was it like right in your face or no?
Oh, yeah, for us, for Star Wars Land, it was. I mean, it wasn't in the way at all. In fact, the way they have it kind of cut off, they built, I don't know if it's more, maybe it is more. It's been so long since I've been there. Kind of more of the rockiness that would be Big Thunder Mountains area. So there's a kind of a pathway between Fantasyland and where you go to Thunder Mountain, and you can see where they have like the openings where you're going to walk into their Star Wars Land. But if you're anywhere up high, like as you're going up the first lift hill on Big Thunder Mountain, you can see everything. They've got big old tall buildings going up. It's way further along than it is here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's not disrupting anything at all. I mean, it really isn't. You can just see it from higher levels, and then you can see a little bit when you're walking, but it's nothing it really actually, I mean, it's hard to tell because we haven't gotten this big of buildings up over here yet, but it's really, you could tell something's going on, but it's not interrupting anything going on in the park.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. Other than the loss of their ranch that I know everybody was really upset about. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
so other than the the Halloween overlay, what other holiday festivities did they have going on?
So they had the Small World holiday that had just opened up the day before we went to Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland on Saturday, and it had opened up the day before. I thought we were going to miss it. And it is so adorable. I've never been more excited to go on Small World in my life than I was. I am telling you, there's no pictures, there's no videos that could do this justice. The whole Small World, it's an outdoor. I mean, it's already a big deal anyway because it's outside, and it's like Small World is like an event there. So it's all Christmas lights, and then they do a projection show every few minutes on the Small World facade. But more than that, all of the topiaries and the grassy areas are covered in lights as well. And then when you go on the ride, I mean, it's ridiculous. They must spend forever redoing this ride. I would recommend looking at a video of it, but I can't even tell you. Going there is probably one of the biggest reasons I would recommend going at Christmas is the Small World redo for the holidays and the Haunted Mansion holiday redo. It's just gorgeous in there. We literally sat in the ride with our mouths open going, holy cow.
Wow.
It's gorgeous. And they play like a mix of Small World and Deck the Halls and Jingle Bells, and it gets stuck in your head really quickly. I think I was singing it in my sleep that night for sure. So, and then they have the Festival of the Holidays over in California Adventure. The Cars Land is really, I mean, the whole park is decorated, but Cars Land is so cute. They just do this whole decorate the Christmas decorations where they make Christmas trees out of tires and out of cones and just anything that would be related to cars. They make Christmas trees out of it and put lights on everything, and it's super cute. And then they play like countrified Christmas music as you're walking
wow.
through. Yeah, and then they did at the Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters, I think is what it's called. I don't know if you guys have seen
Yeah.
or heard
Yeah.
anything about that yet. Yeah, they play a Christmas music on that while you're doing your little dance on the ride, and they do Christmas music on Mater's Junkyard Jamboree as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then they have a festival. Kind of like a food and wine-ish type of thing there, like they do here. Festival. It's called Festival of the Holidays, and they have about 13 booths. Personally, I don't think there's enough room in that park to have that type of thing going on there, though, and especially the area where they had it. It was just there were way too many people, and it was way too much of a tight fit, and it just felt like they didn't have it together quite yet. Like they didn't really. They haven't done a bunch of festivals like Epcot has, so they didn't quite. The food was not that great, and then it was really expensive, and you did not get a lot of alcohol for what you purchased. So I think they have a little work on that. But
And that was
it didn't.
That was over at California Adventure.
Yeah, that was all California Adventure. Yeah, they didn't do anything like that in Disneyland, thankfully, because it was crazy busy over there too, and there was no room there either. So,
Right. So the crowds were pretty heavy while you were there.
yeah, it was Veterans Day weekend, race weekend, and also the first weekend of their
Oh
Christmas
my God.
stuff. So
Oh my God! You picked a good one.
I went with two teachers, so we didn't have much of a choice, but it would have been the very last weekend I would have ever chosen.
Right.
So we had no choice, unfortunately.
I understand that.
Yeah. Now, though, I would say this. We and California Adventure, we did touring plans. It was the first time I'd ever done it because
Very good.
here I have no need for it as a local.
Right.
So, but we did touring plans. I went ahead and bought it just to see what it would be like, and I can't even recommend it enough, especially if you're going to go during a busy time, because the longest we waited was 30 minutes for California Screamin'. Everything else
way.
was under 30 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, seriously. I was so pleasantly surprised. It was a little hard to keep because you had to keep re-optimizing it to get it to kind of adjust to the wait times that were actually happening, but it was so worth it not to have to wait in giant lines at a day when you knew it was going to be horrible.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was there, the wait for what's the car? The car
Radiator Springs
Racers was.
Yeah.
It was 80 minutes long at rope drop.
Yeah.
So wow.
Well, that's what it does. Is it tells you, okay, you're gonna go into this line, but on your way, pick up this fast pass, and then it'll tell you, okay, when you pick this up, the fast pass return time should be X time to X time, and it was always exactly on the dot. So even though Radiator Springs Racers had a 120-minute wait almost the entire day, we had a fast pass for it in the evening, so we walked right on it pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, so
Yep.
did you do the Max Pass?
We did. So the Disneyland day, we decided to do the Max Pass because even though we had a good time with the touring plan at DCA, I just figured it was a Saturday of the weekend, and it was probably going to be worse there. So we went ahead and we did the Max Pass, and I walked the whole first day on my ankle, and it was not going to happen the next day. So I got an ECV. So we had the Max Pass and the ECV. So I didn't do the touring plan that day. And Max Pass, another one. I think I posted on somebody's message on Looper Nation Live. I almost wish we had that here. I really do. It's, kind of annoying to have to pay for it, but it ended up being so worth it.
Okay, the views and
yeah.
opinions of Deedee Herring are not necessarily those. We don't want to pay for any of those down at at Florida, Deedee. But yeah.
Well, so the thing is, with a regular, because they don't have FastPass Plus, so with the regular FastPass system, you have to go to the attraction, you have to get the ticket, and you can't ride another ride until you've used your FastPass or until it's been 2 hours. With the MaxPass system, you just pull it up on your phone. You can get one every hour and a half, or if you when you've used the MaxPass that you have, and so you get them much quicker, and you don't have to go to an attraction and then turn around and go somewhere else to ride another ride. So it's a combination of ours and FastPass, their traditional FastPass together. So it was worth it. I think I listed that we did. It was either 6 or 7 rides on MaxPass, and we're talking the big ones, not just small rides. They don't have FastPass at every attraction there like they practically do here. So, yeah, well worth it. Well worth it if you're going to Disneyland. Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
Deedee, did you find Disneyland very ECV friendly?
Yeah, actually, that was something that I really wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So I was really genuinely surprised, to be honest. So aside from my foot being messed up from being sprained 3 times, I actually, as most people know, I'm a bigger person. So usually I can walk. It's not a problem. But there was just no way that was going to happen after doing DCA the day before. So it is very small. The pathways are very small, and people are kind of crazy there. They don't really mind just stepping right in front of you. So that's where the biggest problem lies. But here, they will mostly, you can go through the queue in your ECVs. There, it's not quite that way. There are some rides you can. But what they have you do is they have you go to most of the time it's the exit, or at least another queue that's basically kind of set up with a cast member there. And if it's a line, if there's already a line at the attraction, they'll scan your ticket and give you and everybody in your party a FastPass return time that's exactly the same as the wait time at that moment. So, so you don't have to, either try to navigate yourself through a tight queue or just feel like you're bypassing the ride, you're never really bypassing the queue, because I don't like that feeling of being like, oh, I'm in an ECV, special treatment, that type of thing. So I really, really liked it. And it doesn't disrupt your MaxPass times either. So you can have they call it return time is what they call it. So you can have that if you're in a wheelchair, an ECV, or if you have any kind of special needs at all. And then you can also have the MaxPass kind of working together. So needless to say, the longest line I think we waited in there was about 20 minutes because of it. So
very good. Very good.
Yes. And another really nice surprise that I really wish they would do this more here. Most of the ride vehicles there have an accessible vehicle where the side of the arm comes up, or whatever, the side of the vehicle comes up, so you can easily just slide right into the vehicle. Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, with a wheelchair, I think is really what it's meant for. But, some of those smaller attractions, like the dark rides, they were not made for people my size, or even, a little bit larger in general, or tall. And so the side will just lift right up and you can slide right into it. You don't have to worry about climbing in. Or with my foot, I was having problems, trying to get into a ride where you have to stand up but turn sideways at the same time. It was a little hard with my foot. So that I did not know about. I found out when I was trying to go on the Alice in Wonderland ride. The cast member explained it to me, and she told me about all the attractions that have it. And I was shocked. I don't know why I was shocked, but I just don't notice that as much here as I did there. Even their Haunted Mansion has it, which is awesome. So
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So if you are someone who is in an ECV, a wheelchair, even a larger person that's nervous about not fitting, Disneyland and California Adventure, I found them to be even more accessible for someone my size than even Disney World.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't expect that at all.
Let's hope that Disney World will take those cues and all these new rides coming in with Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land. They'll incorporate some of that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be good, definitely. Yeah, especially when it feels like the trend is going the other way with things like Flight of Passage and even Mine Train. Mine Train, I don't know if they have an accessible vehicle on Mine Train or not, but I know it's super tight for even just tall people. So,
right.
Yeah. So it was really, really nice.
So
it really was.
We're going to get at Walt Disney World. We're going to get a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. How was Guardians at Disneyland? I know it's Tower of Terror, but the queue's got to be incredible.
I'm just going to predecess this. Proceed this by saying, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So I am one of those people that I do not want our tower touched whatsoever, and I still don't want our tower touched. I'm glad we're just getting a roller coaster, but that was my favorite thing there. Period. First of all, if you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, there's absolutely no way you cannot love this ride. It's so much fun. I literally, I can, if you watch the videos online, sometimes you'll see it looks like a club in that ride. It looks like everyone sits down, the ride starts, and the music starts playing, and everyone's just having a great time. That's exactly what it was like. It was so much freaking fun. Honestly, I wanted to go back and ride it again, but we didn't get a chance to. But it's just the animatronic rocket is incredible, just amazing. The queue is amazing. We fast passed it, so we didn't really get to go through the whole queue, but it was awesome. And I don't want to ruin it, but the ride is more fun than ours. As far as like the thrill aspect of it, it's more fun. I don't want to ruin it by saying why, but it's just you have to be ready to like hold on from the minute that you pull out of the when the door's shut, basically. So it's awesome.
Brace yourself.
You have to, exactly. I just literally, I don't think I spent the entire ride on the seat. Let's just put it this way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I'm looking forward to ours. We actually saw Groot walking around, not baby Groot, big Groot. Excellent. And I was like, a kid, I was like, oh my God, it's Groot. I love Groot and baby Groot. Yeah. I'm
hoping they bring those to Walt Disney World. That is awesome.
Yeah. Groot is cool. I think in the artwork that they showed, they did show Groot and like a Groot and a rocket walking around. So hopefully that will happen.
Yeah, excellent. That would be fantastic. I'd love to get some photo ops with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Deedee, can we touch on how is the food at Disneyland compared to Disneyland?
So the food was actually good. I mean, we didn't do any. The only full service restaurant we did was a place called Tortilla Joe's in downtown Disney. So it was an outside, company. It was really, really good. It had been recommended to me. So we did that, because we had a little reunion, because I went to high school in that area. So we invited some of our old friends and we had a little reunion lunch there. So that was pretty good. But we did quick service in the parks. Most of the time we did, the Chinese place called Lucky Fortune, which is in the Pacific Wharf area. It was good. Actually, I would say it was probably about the same as what we get in Animal Kingdom at that quick service Asian restaurant there that I can never remember the name of.
Which one is that?
Yak and Yeti. Yak and Yeti quick service. Yeah. It was about as good as that. But then we went to Rancho del Zocalo.
Yes, I have eaten there. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
oh my
stuff.
Gosh, it really was. And it was actually reasonably priced. I was genuinely surprised. I got like a fajita steak meal that had like 2 tortillas with it, and then 2 cheese enchiladas, rice and beans, and it was like $16. So, I mean, for Disney,
Yeah.
that wasn't actually that bad. It was a lot of food and it was so good.
Right.
I was surprised because at first when I saw them dishing it out, I was like, this doesn't look that great. But it actually was so good that I almost wanted to go back for dinner.
Very good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's a good restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a good ambiance there because you're right next to Thunder Mountain. So you're hearing Thunder Mountain going and you're hearing some of the, noises from Frontierland, and it's a pretty seating area to kind of sit in and just relax. But the best thing there was not a meal.
Uh-oh.
At the French Market, they have a little booth kind of off to the side, a window, I guess is the best way to say it, where they have mint juleps and Mickey-shaped beignets.
Oh.
Oh, my.
Oh, non-alcoholic mint juleps, but those are my favorite anyway. So, oh man, I'm pretty sure that I posted on Facebook that is my favorite dessert ever. My favorite snack ever in any park, anywhere. Oh, it was fantastic.
Tim, you got to get Mobile One fired up. Let's go.
I'll top it off. We'll get going.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you have to really like mint and lime to like the mint juleps, but they are so good. And those beignets, they need to take the people that work in Port Orleans French Quarter out there, teach them how to make beignets and come back and make them better here because they were fluffy and yummy and just so good. I'm literally like dreaming about them right now. But yeah, that was pretty much what we did for food. As far as like, we did Earl of Sandwich, but Earl of Sandwich is Earl of Sandwich pretty much anywhere. So yeah, it's good always.
All right, so I got to ask, what was like back in the day when you were in Anaheim? What was your favorite? What was your favorite ride?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, I loved it. And not Haunted Mansion. I'm sorry, Matterhorn. Pirates and Matterhorn were my two favorite rides when I was growing up there. The Matterhorn I always did with my grandpa, who's the reason why I love Disney so much.
There you go.
So yeah, I've got strong memories.
Yeah.
For that. So yeah, and then Pirates. I mean, so Tim, you've never been to Disneyland at all?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't say much, but Bob, you know about Pirates then. You know why it's so phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your biggest tip for someone that's always been a Disney World person when they're thinking about taking their trip to Disneyland?
So the funny thing is, two of the people that I brought with me, the two teachers, they were that. They've never been to Disneyland or any other Disney parks except for Walt Disney World. Mm-hmm. And, okay, so the first thing I would say is try to go when it's not so busy because if you learn to use the tools, the Max Pass, the touring plans, whatever, you can, it's tolerable, but what wasn't so tolerable was navigating around the parks. I mean, there would be times when it would be so packed in an area that it felt like you were being picked up and pushed along. The cartoon. Mm-hmm. And when it's that bad, you can't really enjoy the ambiance and you can't stop and take pictures because you feel like there's no place for you to kind of step aside to take pictures. The pathways there are probably half the size of ours. Wouldn't you say, Bob? Maybe half the size?
Oh, yeah. It's a very. I always explain to people that it's a very intimate park. It's a smaller park, which is why Walt said, we have the blessing of size in Florida for the Florida Project.
Right.
But it's that intimacy that kind of makes it so special too, though. Mm-hmm. Because
exactly.
It's like we have in Northeast Ohio, we have a zoo. It's the Akron Zoo, that's my favorite zoo because it's a nice, small, intimate zoo. You're much more, you're up closer to the animals. You feel like you're more a part of it. Where Disneyland is like that. You feel like you're kind of a part of Disneyland.
You do.
But like you said, when it's crowded, Yeah, you're a part of a mass.
A crowd. Yeah, and you can't stop and look at things like New Orleans Square is actually my favorite land area in any park at all. With the exception of maybe like Africa in Animal Kingdom. I really love that area. But New Orleans Square, and I felt like I couldn't enjoy it at all because it was always so crowded over there that you just had to keep moving along. And part of it was I was in the ECV, so I was kind of sitting down a little bit lower. But, even in California Adventure, I kind of felt that way, and I was walking because you just had to keep moving. There wasn't really little nooks and cranny places to kind of stop aside and take pictures. So I don't really have a lot of good pictures because I felt like it. And also we were kind of moving consistently because I wanted to try to get my friends on every possible thing I could get them on, since they were pretty sure they were never going to make it out again. Yeah, but the other thing too about someone who's never been there before, they were really creeped out by the Fantasyland rides there.
Oh yeah, the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they were super creeped out by Pinocchio and Mr. Toad and Snow White because they, except for Snow White, they didn't have those. Well, we had Mr. Toad, but they didn't really remember it that much. So they were kind of creeped out by it, and they also didn't have much of a connection to some of the movies. So they didn't like Roger Rabbit, which everyone that I've ever known loves that Roger Rabbit ride so much. So I think it's always good to also maybe rewatch some of those older movies like Pinocchio, Roger Rabbit. Because you'll understand and maybe not be so like weirded out by.
Right. Yeah.
By
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to do your homework before you go on a Disney trip.
Yeah, definitely. And even like Guardians of the Galaxy, some of the newer things, Cars, you're going to have a much, and I know with Tim, I know you're up on all this stuff anyway, but, with somebody else, you want to have them understand and you'll appreciate things like Guardians of the Galaxy and Radiator Springs Racers a lot more if you know where it came from and what the point of it is. No one's going to understand why Rocket is the one that breaks out first if you don't understand the character of Rocket. So I think that would help too. But the crowd, that's the biggest thing. The crowds, if you can go at a time when it's not super crowded, and I hear it's crowded all the time there, just don't go on Veterans Day weekend or a race weekend on top of that, which you won't have to worry about because there won't be races there for a while.
Right.
So
it works.
And out in Anaheim's not like Florida. It really does get cold in Anaheim. I mean, it can be down in the 40s and 50s in Southern California. So
you're reading my mind, Bob, because seriously, I'm pretty sure the only indoor seating was full service restaurants. Everything that was outdoor everything that was quick service, with the exception of what used to be Pinocchio's Village House there. It's now called the Red Rose Tavern or something like that. It's a Belle-themed Beauty and the Beast themed restaurant now, but everything in DCA, everything was outdoors. And when I wanted a place to get warm, usually here, if it gets cold, we're right in Cosmic Rays or every place is indoors pretty much here. It's not like that there. You cannot escape the cold.
Yeah.
So that's a valid point, definitely.
Yeah. But on the other hand, it can keep the crowds down too, if it's a cooler day and, a lot of the locals are like, we'll go when it's a little warmer. So
right. Yes, going in December. I honestly, if I was going to say a time to go to somebody who's never been there, I would definitely say, in this time period between November and early December, because you can't miss those two things: the Nightmare Before Christmas and the Small World holiday thing. Just can't miss it. I can't even think of a better time to go than when we went, just maybe a week later.
Right.
Yeah. What's so your favorite ride now is Guardians?
Oh yeah, hands down. I loved it so much. But I'm a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I am. I really am. And I loved Radiator Springs Racers as well. It just kind of made me sad because I'm not a huge fan of our redo of Test Track. So, yeah. And so it just made me kind of more sad because I feel like there's so much more they could be doing with Test Track. It's just crazy. Those animatronics in Radiator Springs Racers, they're amazing.
Aren't they though? It's
amazing.
What a great ride. And just the whole Cars Land area is if that's a precursor to what we can expect in Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land, I cannot wait. It's going to be incredible if it's anything like how immersive Cars Land is. So
yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah,
I really hope so. I was watching the video of them putting Jesse on top of the roller coaster. Yeah. While I was in Cars Land, I was like, oh, this is cool. And actually, I did spend my last few, 30 minutes in DCA. I just sat by myself in Cars Land and looked at the Christmas lights and listened to the music because you just get so engrossed in that area. And even if you don't like the movies, you just can't help yourself. It's so good.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. And one of the beauty things of going to Disneyland in California, for all of you who haven't gone, is you can actually leave Disneyland and go over to the real Chinese theater on Sunset Strip. And you had a little experience there, didn't you?
We did. Yeah. Yeah. We went over there to show our friends, and as we got there, they were doing a what's it called? A movie preview or premiere? Yes, for something called The Disaster Artist.
Not a Disney film, but
not a Disney film, no. But we caught a glimpse of, a couple glimpses actually, some pictures that they're not the greatest, but of James Franco, Seth Rogen, who I don't think is in the movie, but I guess he's always at all of his premieres. Melanie Griffith, I think, and James Franco's brother, Dave Franco, and there were a couple other people there that I could see who they were, and I could recognize them, but I couldn't think of their names. But I was excited to see Seth Rogen because I kind of really like him. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was like, wow, good timing, taking my two friends that have never been to California, and the first thing we come up on is that.
There you go.
So Deedee knows people.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
I was a little resistant to go, actually. I'm not a huge fan of Hollywood. I like to think of Hollywood as the Hollywood in Hollywood studios, because it's not exactly the cleanest, safest place.
Oh, no. And to take them at night, that took some guts. I got to give you credit.
Yeah. I warned them, too. I said, there's going to be people dressed like superheroes and Captain Jack Sparrow, and they're going to try to get you to take pictures with them, and they're going to want money. And I mean, it's not exactly my idea of fun, but they really wanted to see it. And now, of course, I'm glad that we did.
Right.
Awesome.
It sounds like you had a fantastic trip to Disneyland and Hollywood and all that. So
yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Tim.
Yes.
That's all I've got for Deedee.
Awesome. Deedee, if somebody wanted to follow you or find you online, where could they find that?
Okay, so on Facebook, you can just search Deedee Herring, Herring. You can find me there. I'm on Twitter, too. I don't look at it that much, but it's under Accio Firebolt 29, which is the Harry Potter reference. So if you know Harry Potter, you'll know how to find it.
She's mixing movies here. I'm confused now.
I know, I'm sorry.
Well, Deedee, thank you very much for being on the show.
Of course. My pleasure.
We'll have to do this again soon. I'm Tim Scott. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, and the website, ResortLoop.com.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook, rate us on iTunes, subscribe to the show, and if somebody wanted to book a trip to Disneyland in California, Tim, who could they go through?
Well, they could go through us, and you can find that at the Resort Loop Travel Group at ResortLoopTravel.com. And then you can go share the gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoop.com.